With Vaster Munich more than likely working towards the equalizing goal, this chapter has Kunigami fans on the edge of their seats. Will he work as a helping hand for Isagi's strike, or will Kunigami Rensuke score his own super goal, resulting in a three-way clash of their best performances? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Animasu, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Blue Lock chapter 255, titled Still Burning. Now, instead of rambling on to you about subscribing or commenting, I actually have a really important announcement to make here. Feel free to skip to this timestamp for the chapter start, however I would really appreciate just a moment from you so I could yap. Firstly, I wanted to let you all know that my official Patreon page is now up in public, but what exactly does that mean? For only $5 a month, or the equivalent of some nuggets from Wendy's in this economy, you can support my pursuit of content creation while also getting some cool benefits. Aside from obvious things like sneak peeks into future videos, input on upcoming content, and shoutouts every video, Patreon members also get access to a modded Minecraft server made specifically for our community. The guide to getting whitelisted and setting it all up is very simple to follow, so don't even worry about ease of access. My best friend Matthew, or Paradoxician, actually helped me set this all up, and I'm also excited to announce I'll be working alongside him on a YouTube channel called Eclipse. This is where us and our friends will be posting gaming and variety uploads, as I myself didn't want to ruin my main channel with content that doesn't fit. We've also always wanted to work together on uploads. The channel isn't quite ready to launch yet, but if you guys are interested in joining our public Discord for Eclipse updates, the link can be found down below in the description, just under my personal one. I hope to see some of you on the Minecraft server so we can game together, and without any further yapping, let's get into this badass chapter. To start us off, we have intro text which says, like a young male lion prowling the Serengeti to create his pride, every egoist on the field is out there fighting to change his destiny. Take full advantage of your opportunity and go wild. With the ball still flying in the air from Kunigami's clearance in the last chapter, Isagi and Yuri are also seen here watching very closely. They both know exactly how threatening Charles is, and are working to ascend this game to a whole new peak. Leaping into the air with his left leg, Alexis Ness actually manages to receive this loose ball, now putting Vaster Munich in possession. Unfortunately, Tokimitsu and Zantetsu are surrounding Ness from both his left and right, and despite looking a bit worried here, Ness still manages to calmly assess the risk factor here, to then decide on making a clean pass to Benedict Grimm. It also seems like Tokimitsu is yet to overcome his major flaw of field anxiety, because he's still shown here looking horrified from just a simple pass. Grimm, however, is shown to be calmly receiving the ball here, and despite this defender's best efforts, Grimm still manages to get the pass off here. His target is obviously none other than Kaiser, who can be seen here sprinting forward with ease while holding off Karasu. Despite initially being fine here, Kaiser's face quickly changes from concentration to worry as Shidou and Kunigami barge onto the scene. These rivals are fighting for the ball shoulder to shoulder, running in quickly with such aggression that even Kaiser can't keep up. Shidou even tries to leap into the air here and trap the ball, and although it looks like he got a touch on it, Kunigami ultimately big bros him, preventing yet another possession for the demon. Funny enough, Kaiser and Karasu are just left staring in awe, as those two bulky ass berserkers are gliding through the air like 6 feet up. With everyone looking up at again this loose ball, Ryusei actually is the one to gain possession as he traps it with his chest. With the most devious grin we've ever seen in the entire series, our boy now believes this is his sexy chance to shine. Sexy? You're just a meathead who constantly sacrifices himself for others. With an insult to accompany him as always, Charles Chevalier comes flying in through the air, kicking the ball away from Ryusei's chest bounce. He then further cooks the duelist by thanking him for his hard work that led to him gaining possession, while also calling him non-sexy. This is possibly the most harmful insult you can say to poor Ryusei over here, who can just not believe his own ears at what's been said. Yuri, however, is more worried about what comes next, as he's screwed up by allowing Charles to once again gain possession. If he would have just backed up Ryusei and played alongside him, Yuri would now have possession of the ball instead of this trickster. As he runs behind him trying to catch up, Yuri realizes that he must be focusing on the finer details if he wants to outread Charles in this game. He believes this to be his only option to match up against his creativity and playmaking, as this youngster is just overflowing with ideas. Yuri even clarifies that due to the difficulty level of this task, he won't just be able to wing it on the first try. Relating this back to something he knows well, Yuri compares Charles to the final boss of a video game, and this absolutely insane panel depicting this visually. This creature looks like a mix of Maharaga and a Lich, as it's not only having 4 to 5 horns, but it wields multiple weapons with its hands, which also have eyes in them. This comparison is made not just due to the difficulty of the challenge, but because just like in a video game, Yuri will have to die or face defeat multiple times to figure out how to win. With the two both staring down one another, Yuri confidently exclaims that he will defeat Charles and clear this stage of the game. I really love that Yuri is still comparing and explaining things in video game terms, because one of my favorite scenes involves him in the third selection when he used Tetris to explain reflexive action to Isagi. Anyways, cutting away from that segment, we then see Charles and itoshi Rin approaching Isagi Yoichi's front. Rin urges the child to pass the ball over to him for a 1-2, and while Charles does acknowledge him here and begin to take action, the imp ultimately decides to fake them both out and make the run for himself, while calling itoshi Rin's path and plan super boring. Isagi immediately makes a mental note of this in order to defend better against him in the future. However, Rin is shown to just be looking extremely pissed, with a vein bulging near his eye. I can't believe he hasn't snapped already from the shenanigans of the Shidou and Charles duo, because those two are quite actually chaos incarnate. Approaching from Charles' left though comes running in Hiyori. Hiyori tells Charles that it won't be easy this time while also calling him an idiot, which ages really poorly as Charles still outplays him. Activating his metavision while telling Hiyori nice try, Charles makes an insane pass attempt here while clarifying that Hiyori was just one beat too slow. The sheer aura this kid gives off at just 15 is terrifying, which is why I can't help but imagine his talent once he grows up. Kevin De Bruyne won't have shit on this guy. Anyways, Hiyori and Isagi are just left watching with hopeless expressions, as this cross was unpreventable and delivered with extreme precision from a difficult place. Charles is literally toying with them and controlling this entire field, as we also see the target of his pass here to once again be Shidou Ryusei. With Shidou actually looking back at the ball though, Kunigami was able to read the situation and prevent yet another possession for Shidou Ryusei. This man's value better go through the goddamn roof after this game, because he's pulling Isagi levels of lockdown here without even having metavision. Even Hiyori and Charles are surprised by this one, as this seemed to be another dire situation for Bayern Munich. Isagi Yoichi, however, is completely locked in and confident in his bro, as he truly recognizes how amazing Kunigami is. As we see Kuni crash to the ground here, sacrificing his body for the team, Isagi realizes he's just been getting better and better since being placed against Shidou. Now obviously this can partially be credited to Kunigami using his overwhelming physical ability, but Isagi knows it's more than that. This level of play is coming from his desire for revenge on Shidou. As we see him all tensed up and rising from the ground, it seems as if his emotional importance in this match has now led to his top performance against his rival. As we see Kunigami's eyes begin to shine with confidence, Isagi states that Kuni not only possesses a solid moral code, but is just a truly passionate person to his core. With the puzzle pieces coming back into action, Isagi then leads into the realization that Kunigami has an individualistic ego mentality. I'm gonna release a video soon talking more about what ego mentalities really mean in their real life counterparts, because they relate a lot to autotelic people and exponentially motivated people. Research the meaning if you don't know. I'm giving you all homework before this analysis since my professors want to swamp me with so much. Thinking back on the good old days before his homie switched up, Isagi realizes too that Kunigami really hasn't changed all that much, even though it seems that way. He still is the same passionate and hot-blooded person he was on Team Z, but even more important than that, Kunigami Rensuke's ego is still burning bright inside him. In this amazing panel here of Kunigami posing as Isagi's puzzle pieces spill out behind him, I think the Ghost of Bayern Munich is no longer an applicable nickname. He now shall be known as the Kozak Hadarak, or Shidou Ryusei's father. Anyways, the chapter then switches over to Hiyori's inner thoughts, as he's now realizing that Charles' options have decreased with Kunigami's lockdown. This means the game's momentum is soon going to change, and as we all know, whoever can adapt quicker will probably score the next goal. We then see Shidou once again talking some shit to Kunigami, as he demands this trashy hero to get out of his way. Kunigami is unfazed though, as he just mocks him by asking if he's really giving it his all. Don't tell me you've used up all your explosives on just that one goal. Okay, now our hero is really coming back, but this time with a little more fire behind his eyes and words. Shidou just begins to bug out because this is personal ass insult, calling him a prick. Isagi too just had to join in on the roast session, however with friendly fire enabled, he tells Kunigami that he's one to talk. Even Shidou looks back confused here, because Isagi tells his own teammate that he would have been useless without his assist. Looking more off-put than angry, Kunigami can only just ask what Isagi wants from him. Lend a hand for my explosion. It seems as though Isagi wants to incorporate Kunigami into his attack pattern, possibly out of selfish intent, or maybe as a friend. Let me know what you guys think Isagi's true intentions are here, whether it be a goal for himself purely, or maybe Kunigami. Anyways, as Isagi then sprints past Kuni while saying that they should get steak afterwards for old time's sake, his eyes also bleed with the aura of his original ego. Kunigami's eyes soften here too, as Isagi realizes exactly what's required to score in this match. If PXG are dependent on two people's top performance to create chemical reactions, then they'll just add one more to the equation and create a triflow chemical reaction. I'm not gonna lie to you all, I laughed my ass off when reading this dialogue, because it sounds so funny when accompanied with Isagi's serious look. Guys, I figured it all out. 2 + 1 = 3. Now we win. 3 is more than 2. This panel, however, is an absolute banger to end the chapter off, as we see the trio who will soon chase this game's equalizer. The outro text goes on to say, Only by clashing and crossing your performances with your allies can you evolve and tip the game in your favor. Envision a new world and show us a goal beyond our wildest imagination. With that, all we're left with until chapter 256 is the title, Read Between the Lines, Between the Lines. This more than likely refers to Isagi and Yuri having a discussion with Kunigami about how dangerous Charles is, but that's just what I'm thinking. I know it most definitely relates to how in-depth they must now read into this game, but let me know specifically what you all think. That being the end of today's video, I would just like to thank my Patreon supporters on screen. If you're interested in becoming a member yourself, please click that cool little link in the description and read through it. Besides that, please subscribe to the channel, comment below your thoughts, and have an amazing rest of your day.